Okay, this is going to be a demonstration for how to get started with your zentangle drawing. So, purposes of the zentangle drawing is, it's just a nice, relaxing drawing that we're doing. This drawing isn't subjective at all, but basically you're just, going through the motions of drawing lines, creating textures and patterns, but there's no right or wrong way of doing the zentangle. Just as long as you fill up the white space, that's like the most important thing. It's just going through the experiences of creating lines and just like drawing naturally with your hands. So now, in order to get started with your zentangle, you're going to use a pencil, a sharpie. You're going to mainly be using the sharpie, just because the problem with us using the pencil though is we have a tendency to want to erase and readjust and do things over again. So we're going to be using the Sharpie pens, just because we're going to commit to what we draw. So we're going to start off with doing 4 dots in each corner, and just make sure to leave a little space in between, like the edges. That way you have like this nice little border. And with this zentangle, I'm going to actually force you guys to create lines, but we're going to use, we're going to create lines though without the use of a ruler. So, I'm just going to draw one line from, one part to the other. Okay, so, don't worry if the lines aren't even. I'm actually going to make them curved a little bit on purpose. It's just to show you that, it doesn't really matter, what you do with these lines. They don't have to be perfectly straight. You can curve them, have a little bit of fun with them. Alright, so we have that as a starting point for the shape, and from here, now we're going to try to fill in this open space. Okay, now to get started, we're just going to do some curves. I'm just going to do from one end to the other. We're just going to do like a big curve here. And again, you can do any kind of curve you want, but we're just going to try to fill in the space. So basically, we're just like trying to section off your different areas for your zentangle. So you can do a curve. You can also do loops too, from one end to the other. So there's a lot of different lines you can make. You can also make bouncing lines, so it goes from one end to the other end here. But we're just trying to like fill up that space right now. You can also do zigzags as well. And since we're working in a 6x6 inch paper, I suggest trying to fill up as much of this page as you can. This is kind of like very similar to like what we did with your portfolios when we were creating the designs for them. Same exact thing. Let me see what other lines I can make. Maybe I might just continue with this one. I'll just do a more bouncy line here. And I might just change up into like curves here, add more lines. So this is a pretty good start what I have here though. And then from this point here though, once you've kind of like sectioned off each section, now you have like different spaces that you can do your drawings in. So I gave you guys a packet of different types of patterns, zentangle patterns you can draw. So you can use these patterns to kind of give you ideas of like things you can draw within the shapes, or you can kind of like make up your own patterns as well. So I'm just going to use a couple of them in here. Basically, we're just going to create like a design for this page using the zentangles. So I really like this circles pattern, or like half semicircles. So I'm just going to continue semicircles like this. Going to continue like that. So it almost looks like fish scales in a way. Yeah, you can do it any way that you want, but we're just creating patterns. I'm just going to repeat these patterns. Just take your time with the drawing. And again, I do suggest using the Sharpie pen. Okay, I really want you guys to commit to these drawings that we do, the zentangle drawings. Okay, don't worry about it looking not correct. I'm actually going to move a little bit quicker. You get the idea though. We're just drawing these patterns. And I'm actually not committing to like the patterns, so I'm actually just doing circles now as I go up. So again, no right or wrong way of drawing. You're just gonna go with the flow. Let the artwork, do its own thing. I'm just gonna continue this until the very end up here. Yeah, there we go. We have like our first pattern here. So, again, you can work on other shapes too. So maybe in this one here, I might do something like this where it's going to have lines that go from one end to the other. And I might actually play around with the thicknesses of the line. So, it's going to get thinner up there, thicker up here. You really can play around with these areas. And I'm actually going to zoom in a little closer so you guys can see. This camera's not really all that great far away. But I'm just drawing these shapes here. Then maybe, if you wanted to, you can use your pencil. You can use your pencil. You can do some shading too. So maybe from like one end, I'm going to make it, lighter. And then the other end, I'm going to make it, darker. So, a big thing we're going to do next project is we're going to do a lot of shading. So, this helps you practice shading now, while you got time. Let's make it darker here. And it's lighter on the top. So we had like this nice green in values. Dark to light. Actually gonna make it darker on the edges to create like a little bit more 3D form with it. Alright, so you can use something like that, your patterns. Other shapes you can do too. And this is like all stuff that I'm grabbing from the packet. Kind of like how this one looks. You can just repeat lines like this, and then you can do lines on the opposite way. This is like a really neat pattern to do. I don't know if you guys can see that. Just take your time though. Let the art do its own thing. There's no right or wrong way of doing it. Just as long as you're using your time wisely in class, and you're just drawing. Again, I'm moving a little bit quicker though, but you really do take your time with the drawing. And you do shapes like that. I'm gonna do one that's like a little bit more darker in some parts. So, maybe in this shape here, I can just do some. Whoops. This always happens in my videos. Let me know if I'm going too long with them. I'm just gonna do these kind of like straw patterns. I'm just overlapping the lines. The reason why I'm doing this though is because I want to actually have a little bit more contrast with this. So I'm actually gonna make this part darker. So I'm gonna use the Sharpies to color this part in. Get that contrast. You want those like extreme lights and darks. Then maybe use like the pencils to do some shading. So maybe do some shadows on it. Oops. The pencils are gonna be just mainly used for like details. I really want you guys to use the Sharpies mainly for this project though, this assignment. And you can always go back in other areas to add some more details to it. Don't feel like you can, just stop in one place. You can always go back on the other ones. So maybe I might just do dots here like this. Look like little eyeballs. So, I mean, you get the idea though. So basically, you just want to, just fill up the spaces with, different patterns, textures, until you get a, complete zentangle drawing.